It's called Griffin X, ROS-powered retail automation by Somdeb Shah, TCS Research.
So, yeah, I'll begin. So, hello everyone, a very good afternoon. And my friend Anish was just here explaining our work here at TCS. So, I guess I don't need to say more about the work we do at TCS. So, I'll just dive right in into my work. So, my work is titled Griffin X, and no points for guessing. Griffin X is a robot that we have developed at TCS, and it's obviously powered by Robot Operating System (ROS). So Griffin X, like the product video that you just saw before, which Anish had showed, that is more of a product, but Griffin X is more of a research platform that we are developing at TCS. It is supposed to move into the product space, but currently we are sticking to it as a research platform. So the main key takeaway from this talk is going to be that how we leveraged ROS, this gem of a framework, this open source robotics tool, to create a research platform, and how we conducted research and published papers and generated IP and patents and whatnot. So a little bit about myself. I am Somdev, and after completing my masters, I've been working in TCS research for the past 3 years. It's not changing. Okay, apologies. Okay, so let me introduce to the robot. As you can see on the left hand side, that is our robot, a very cute, funny, or weird looking robot, however you want to put it. So the four main features of the robot. So the first being the omnidirectional base. So the base has mecanum wheels, also known as Swedish wheels, which give the robot an ability to be omnidirectional in nature. So the second thing, the dual arms obviously inspired from human anthropology. And the third thing are the two different kind of grippers placed on the arms. So since we have mainly developed this robot for a retail use case, so what we wanted to ensure is that since we are handling a wide variety of items which sometimes might be rigid in nature or sometimes might be fragile in nature, so we needed to develop different kind of grippers. So the first gripper that you see is a off-the-shelf RG2 gripper product available in the market. And the second gripper, the one on the left arm, is a soft gripper which we have developed and patented in-house. And apart from these things, the robot obviously contains an array of sensors. It has got tracking cameras, LiDARs, RGBD cameras to do object detection and whatnot. So the main reason why we developed this robot in the first place. So we wanted to automate the an entire retail store. So think about any retail store, something like a Walmart or a DMart or something. So a lot of the work that happens in these stores is menial in nature. So first of all, some items which are placed in the shelves and racks, they need to be restocked. A rack might be running out of a particular item, they need to be restocked. Something which could be easily automated by a robot. Sometimes items might be placed in a very haphazard manner, so things might need to be rearranged. Sometimes wrong things might be placed in the wrong aisle. In that case, all these tasks which are very menial in nature could very easily be done by a robot. And especially in countries which have a rapidly declining population, this robot could work wonders. So these are the main features that our robot has. First of all, it could navigate in a retail environment, in aisle spaces, as we see in normal retail stores, how the spaces are narrow. So this robot could easily navigate, fit in those aisles, and move around autonomously. And it could perform obviously retail specific manipulation tasks. It could identify, using computer vision, it could identify which all items are placed wrongly, and it could sort them. And apart from this, since this robot is already handling items, it could also act as an inventory manager, because which is normally done manually on a register or on a computer, where you put items, how many items are available, what units. This could easily do it on its own. And furthermore, we also want to make this robot a little bit more interactive and use it as an in-store customer assistant. So let me introduce you to the robot, and I'll introduce you to all the modalities and all the sub-modules of the robot. So in the middle part, you have the robot with all its sensors and actuators, manipulators, grippers, and all the sensors. So now we give it the navigation stack. The navigation stack helps the robot obviously move in a retail environment. And then we give it the perception stack. The perception stack is able to look and scan the shelves, detect all the correct objects, all the wrong objects, sorry, and localize the objects. And then we give it two other stacks, which is the motion capture and shared autonomy. So I'll explain these shared autonomy more in detail. So what we need to know is that this robot is currently operating in 3 modes. So the first is pure teleoperation. So in pure teleoperation, you have a human operator, which is using a VR joystick, is able to manipulate the hands of the robot as well as move the base. The second one is shared autonomy. You can consider shared autonomy somewhere between the spectrum of pure teleoperation and fully autonomous. In a fully autonomous case, the robot is totally capable of making its own decisions and whatnot. But what we prefer, or our main crux of the research, what we do at TCS Research at our group, is shared autonomy. So shared autonomy, which I'll explain later, is something where we leverage the strengths of both the robot and the human. We leverage the dexterous ability of the robot and the cognitive ability of the humans to achieve a common task. So I'll get to shared autonomy later. Let me show you about the ROS architecture. So as you can see, our entire system is running on 3 different compute platforms. And we are using 3 different versions of ROS, because we wanted to get this research platform up and running in no time. So this Edge Compute 2 platform, which is handling the navigation stack, is running on ROS Foxy. On the other hand, our Edge Compute 1, which is a GPU-based platform, which we use for object detection and localization, it's running on ROS Humble. Whereas our motion capture and share autonomy stack, it's running on ROS Noetic, ROS 1. So you can see this entire system is very much convoluted, complex, but we all somehow make it work, and it works very beautifully for us as researchers, because it enables us to test our own MPC-based algorithms, in this case, which we are working towards to test our algorithms and verify it and publish papers and generate IP. So as you can see, for object detection and localization, we develop our own custom vision package. And as you can see in this entire picture, the red boxes indicate the packages that we have developed at TCS, and the green ones are the ones which are available off the shelf or open source. So for motion capture, in order to translate the operator commands into operational space commands for the robot, we use the VRViz package, which is an open source package. When it comes to shared autonomy, we wrote our own model predictive control package. But for inverse kinematics, we use the track IK package, which is pretty much the industry standard when it comes to inverse kinematics. For navigation, we use the nav2 system, which is running on ROS2 and which is very much well developed and well documented, and it works very nicely with us. And then we developed our own embedded control packages to run the mobile base. So a little bit about shared autonomy. As I said, in shared autonomy, the robot and the user, they both are working together, and they both are leveraging their strengths to achieve a common task. So this is a snapshot of one of the works that we performed here at TCS Research. It's a research paper that we had published. And as you can see, this T indicates the pure teleoperation, which is just blindly following the operator commands for the robot. The P is a PD-based shared autonomy control, which is a baseline which we need to compare for paper. And the S is the MPC-based shared autonomy control, which we developed in-house at TCS Research. And as you can see, when it comes to trial time and number of collisions, our algorithm performs way better. So these are the objective metrics, and as well as subjective metrics, which you see Q1, Q2, Q3, which are basically questions with which operators are prompted at the end of an experiment, where we asked the operators after performing an experiment, how good did you feel with the robot? How was the ease with which you use this algorithm? And again, when it comes to subjective ratings, this shared autonomy works very nicely as well. So let me show you some key results. As you can see, as I told you earlier, we have two different kind of grippers. We have a rigid gripper and we have a soft gripper. So say this soft gripper can handle more fragile items. As you can see, this Lay's chips packet, and this rigid gripper could handle something like a Tetra pack. And this is our work, which you can see this current GIF which is playing. So we have our object detection, which detects the anomaly in that shelf, the Lay's packet. And then using share autonomy, the robot is guiding the operator as well as the operator is moving towards it. And they both work together to pick out the wrong object. Again, you can see here that Nescafe packet is the anomaly here. And the robot and the operator, they both will work together to pick that object up. Now you might be thinking, why can't the operator do it himself? But when they both work together, this task is achieved much more faster, which is pretty much required when it comes to retail automation. And obviously in future, we'll be looking towards making this fully autonomous. And along with this, we also have developed a grasp net, something like a grasp-based neural network, which detects the pose of the gripper, the soft gripper, to hold a fragile item. So some items could be holded vertically, while some items could be holded horizontally. So we have developed a neural network which detects the pose of the gripper. So there it is. So let me conclude this with all our challenges, learning, and future work. So first of all, the importance of ROS bridge. As you saw in that diagram, that we had leveraged different ROS distros across different computing platforms. So it was very important for us to use ROS bridge because some packages were not available. Some packages were not compatible with our hardware. So we had to use ROS bridge, and it worked seamlessly under most cases. Under certain cases, it did not. And as a result of that, we were introduced to the limitations of ROS bridge. Again, managing such a complex system, as you again saw, different ROS distros working on different computing platforms. And we have a huge team who is working individually on different stacks. So it was very important for us to maintain the existing stack which we have built, as well as continuously build on top of stack, for which we had to leverage proper CI/CD tools. Again, should I say availability or non-availability of open source ROS packages? Certain ROS packages were available just off the shelf and just worked wonderfully at once, zero shot. But some did not work, so we had to spend a lot of hours debugging. Some packages were not available at all, so we had to develop some of them in-house. And then leveraging appropriate ROS interfaces. So as you know, we have publisher, subscriber, service, and action-based things for communication in ROS. So I mean, relatively, a publisher-subscriber model is much more easier. So sometimes we would just end up using a publisher-subscriber for everything, and we would not even think about service and actions. When we later, after certain iterations on working on the robot, where we found out that services and actions were much more better suited for certain tasks than publisher or subscriber. And again, the big question which was discussed earlier in this morning, this migration from ROS1 to ROS2. So as we have seen, because of improved DDS middleware stability, our ROS2 nodes are much more stable. They don't die more often compared to ROS1. But again, there is a very long way to go when it comes from migration from ROS1 to ROS2. And our team is working towards that, and will certainly be exploring more of that. So I would like to give a huge thanks to the entire ROS robotics open source community, the OSRF Foundation, all the companies like NVIDIA and Intrinsic who have put forward their efforts, and as well as robotic enthusiasts, which includes people like you in the crowd, who have all come together and contributed to create this gem of a framework called ROS, and this which enables us to get a research platform up and running within a very short span of time. So a big thank you to all. Thank you to the ROSCon organizers for giving me this opportunity.
We have time for one quick question.
Hi, Somdeb.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. I'm Praveen Raj, and I'm MTech graduate from SRM. So similar to this, there was a project my friend working on is related to Erica Net. I have two questions. One about the gripper and what material about it, Can you?
I'm sorry, those are patented,
Okay.
but they have been published as a research paper, so I'd be very
So
happy to
you
refer
have
you the
mentioned
link.
that we can look into it,
Sorry, what?
to the research published paper.
Yeah. Or you can connect with me. I'll
Okay.
show you.
And second one is something related to similar, that grasping matter. So there will be some deep learning model, right?
Yes.
So actually, we were working with the ArrayConnect. ArrayConnect, I think you know.
I'm sorry.
It's
Maybe
like
we can
some-
discuss more about this later.
Okay.
But yeah, it is a deep learning based model which is able to generate the grasp pose
Yeah. Okay.
based on the object.
Can you share something about that model?
Yes, I'll share it. Again, it's available as a research paper. I'll
Okay,
send you the
thank you.
link. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
Somdeb.